I've been asked to endorse various optometrists, ophthalmologists. And my condition is this. I'm in favor of prevention. However, I'm an engineer interested in the natural eye's behavior. But for me, natural means eye at birth, how it behaves as an engineer with objective testing. The result is that I use natural in that sense. Now in college, just curiosity as a control systems engineer, I thought the natural eye was dynamic. I thought that was understood by everybody. But since I'm not optometry or medicine or anything like that, I didn't really know what the hell's going on. And the only person who really squared that was Jacob Rafelson to find out what really is going on. And so based on my efforts was to help my immediate relatives never start wearing a minus lens. And that always means not 20/20. It means reading a Snellen always passing at least the 20/60 line or 20/40 line, which is the DMV test. Take responsibility to do that. If you don't do it, you're wasting your time and my time also. Now, as an engineer, I deal with the natural eye, my own, with prevention. And I was able to do that because of cataract surgery. In cataract surgery, you're given the choice is you can have good near vision or you can have good far vision, but you can't have both. So being curious, I chose good near vision, which meant that I would have 20/60 on my Snellen. But I took that as a challenge. Can I get my refraction to change from a negative value to a positive value? The way Kepler measured his vision using test lenses. So that was now 17 years ago. And we use a plus reading. Always measure my own refractive state. And I have my 20/20. Positive refraction means I can read the 20/20 line through a plus half diopter lens. Now, I personally blame my habits as a child for a negative refractive state of mine. And then I blame the minus lens for making the vision profoundly terrible. Only cataract surgery got me back to 20/60. But never again. Never do that again. So who do I endorse? I endorse Rupa Wong and husband, who are conducting prevention when their kids' eyes are 20/20. They have positive refractive state the way eye measurement. That's the only medical person I will endorse. Now, if it's an optometrist, I will ask them point blank, what are you doing to prevent your kids from entering myopia? If they cannot answer that question or won't, then I find another optometrist who will give you a strong answer. I'm doing my best to help my own kids avoid entry to myopia. And that for me means the kids never get closer than 20 inches, or they wear a plus lens when they're reading at 20 inches. And this as long as they're in school. There is no other alternative. Now, what about research? It's all driven with the idea that somehow after you're seriously myopic, they're going to help you. Very heartfelt thing. In fact, with my plus lens, I'll read, is tapering myopia management therapy necessary before discontinuation? I guess that means that once you got down to 6 diopters, can you discontinue therapy? What does it mean? I'm not clear what it means, whether that's going to help or what. You shouldn't have started wearing minus lens in the first place. Or you should have gotten help for recovery when you were at 20/30 or 20/40. Now, as soon as I use the word nearsighted, everybody says, I want to get to 2020 and I want to throw away my glasses. That's an action of ignorance, sorry to say, because you're never going to get out of it. You know, this type of therapy, tapering myopia, it's like bailing out a ship that is already sinking, and you know it's sinking, and you know you're not going to be able to get it down, bail out, and the ship's going to sink. And that is from what the kid is been doing, and then forced to use a minus lens to fix it. It doesn't work. And the same way with Jake Steiner, he just holds out the hope that somehow you'll get to 2020, and you'll get there by never looking at a Snellen or never understanding how all natural eyes behave. That's why I don't endorse people as such. Or the only person I'll endorse is Rupa Wong and her kids. She knows 20 inches, and that will work because the eye's a control system. And if you keep your Snellen or keep your average accommodation at about -1 diopter, you won't get into nearsightedness. Your refraction will stay at about 0 or 20/20. So I don't know how much of an engineer you are, but I certainly will talk only about recovery from about 2050. And that means doing exactly what I'm doing, as I've been doing for 15 years. And then you say, I don't want to do that. I want to get out of it, but I don't want to do any prevention. I don't want to look at a Snellen. I don't want to wear plus vernier when I'm 20/40. And all I can say is good luck. Good luck. The only person I know who really got out of it, well, several, was Todd Becker, Rifelson's children, my friend Sterling Colgate, who the whole idea just seemed natural. But when medical talk to you, they feel you're too ignorant to understand anything. You're too ignorant to make measurements. You're so incompetent, you can't make a measurement. And I object to that because I want my integrity, honesty, and measurement method trusted. If you can't trust me, can't trust the patient to take responsibility, measurement responsibility, then you don't trust them. And there's no point to prevention because either you do it correctly yourself or you won't be successful. I do agree with one standard, and that's the DMV, which is why I use a Snellen. Passing the DMV means reading the 20/40 and 20/60 lines and then doing better than that standard with your natural eyes. In college, the whole idea came from respecting all eyes, the natural eyes as being dynamic at birth. And then it's just a matter of getting the experimental data to show that all natural eyes are dynamic in a control system understanding. I feel sorry for myself and my own bad habits caused the nearsightedness. I'm just very happy that I'm smart enough to take my own prevention seriously, as you see me doing it. Until the person has the intelligence and motivation for it, there won't be any prevention because there won't be any measurements and you don't know how to do it. So most of the data I have came from Francis Young, who was about 9 diopters myopic. And he had to go along with the system to get funding. And that means you've got to run a myopia study. You don't run a prevention study. You run a pure myopic study, which means nobody learns anything and nobody does anything for prevention. So I talk freely to everybody about it, but I say, if you want prevention, you're going to have to start at 20/40 and you're probably not going to be successful. But it depends how you define success and depends how much you want to take measurement responsibility. No measurement responsibility, no success. So And all that came because Jacob Riis had the courage to publish publicly what he expected had to be done for success. Something that he couldn't do because the ignorance of the public is so powerful that he couldn't do anything at all. Add your own commentary if you think I'm wrong.